In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an Ableton set from scratch. For any worship service at Mercy Hill Church, we are going to be creating an Ableton set. You can do this from any of the Ableton computers at a campus. It already has all the resources loaded and ready to go for you. All you'll have to do is follow this video or the step-by-step guide that will be linked in the video as well, and you can make your own set. I have this document here. I'm going to give this to you as well, but I'm just going to follow this document and we'll build the set together. Hopefully, by using the document and also reviewing this video, it'll give you a really good understanding of how to build an Ableton set. So first thing we need to do is we need to access our Ableton set building template. It's located in our OneDrive folder under the Ableton folder. I'll show you how to find that. If you click the Finder, it's this little smiley face icon. It'll open up a Finder window, and on the left-hand side here, you'll have a folder that says Ableton. If you click on the Ableton folder, it'll take you to this folder structure here: completed sets, practice tracks, song multi-tracks, and templates. For right now, we're just concerned with templates. We're going to click on this folder. You have some templates in here. The one we're going to use is the set building template. Click on this folder, and then double click on the set building template project file, which has this icon beside it. It'll open up in Ableton. So in Ableton, there's a few things you need to see. This is going to be the main view that we're going to work in. It's got markers, which this is the track that your drummers will use to locate different parts of the songs during rehearsal. You've got a tempo track, click track, a guide track, and a repeat track. We'll get into more of that a little bit later. Over here to the left, you have the browser window. What I have selected right here is the song multitracks folder. That's going to already be loaded up in Ableton for you. If you click on it, you'll see all the songs that we have created for Ableton that you'll be able to drag and drop into your set. The last thing you need to know right off the bat is how to access the other view called Session View. To access Session View, you can click on these vertical lines here, or you can hit the Tab key. The Tab key will just toggle you back and forth between Session View, which is this, and Arrangement View, which is the default view. In Session View, you have some things that you'll be able to copy and paste over. We'll get into it later. When we're building sets, we're mainly going to be using the loop cues here, potentially a tempo track, and potentially a click track. I'll hit the Tab key to get us back to Arrangement View. The first thing you're going to want to do whenever you open up the set building template is go up to File and Save Live Set As. We don't want to save over the template once we're done. Save it as a new project. I typically just like to save it to the desktop to keep it simple. And then you just name it. So the set we're going to be working on for today is for November the 3rd. I'll just save it as November 3rd, 2024. Then you just hit save or press enter. And then you're ready to get started. Now we're going to set up our first song. Basically, whenever you're building a set, once you know how to set up one song, you pretty much know how to build the entire set. You just repeat the process. There's one extra step for songs after song one. We're going to go ahead and set up our first song. So here's the checklist that you can follow for setting up a song. The first step is locate the multi-track file. So we're going to use the browser that I was telling you about in Ableton to find our first song, which is right here, Song Multitracks. You'll see all the songs listed. Let's go and take a look at our set in Planning Center. So the first song is actually going to be the countdown. Go back to Ableton and locate the countdowns right here. Expand that folder, and you'll see a few different options here. 1 minute, V11, V14, V15, V16. That's really important because those are actually going to be different songs. We have a few different countdowns that we can choose from. In Planning Center, it'll actually tell you which one to choose. If you click on this paperclip icon to go to the attachments for the song, you'll see which countdown to choose. So we're going to use V14. We're going to go back into Ableton. We're going to find V14. We can expand this folder. This right here is our project file. So that was step one. We found the multi-track file. Step two, we're going to drag and drop the multi-track So we'll go back to Ableton. We will click on our project file, which is this one right here, this little icon. Click, drag. You're going to want to make sure to drop it below the lowest track that's currently in Ableton. So we want to drop it down here below the lowest track. Okay, so there we go. That is in there for us. Let's go back and see what our next step is. Step 3 is to delete the demo track. I don't think there's actually a demo track for the countdowns. I'll show you that for the next song that we do. So let's go ahead and go to step 4. Cut and paste the song, skip this step for song 1. So we're going to skip this. I'll show you guys this for the next song. Number 5, create a locator and assign a key command. So key commands are what our drummers use to trigger the different songs during the set. So we're going to make that key command. We want to make sure we have clicked all the way to the left-hand side of the song. To create a locator, we're going to hit the / key on our keyboard. So there's our locator. It has the number 1 beside it. Now we need to assign a key command. So what we're going to do is click on this little triangle beside the number 1, our locator, and we're going to press Command K. That's going to bring up this menu to allow us to create a keyboard mapping. So we'll click on this triangle to make sure it's selected, and then hit number 1 on our keyboard. So our key command is just going to be the number of the song. This is song 1 for the countdown. All right, you'll see there it added that mapping for us. Now we can press Command K to get out of that menu. Next step is change the time signature if necessary. You can find time signature information in Planning Center. This one is in 4/4. And Ableton by default is in 4/4, so we don't need to do anything there. Let's check out the next step. All right, move master clips up. First, let me talk about master tracks. These over here are our master tracks: markers, tempo track, click, guide, and repeat. You'll see those tracks duplicated down here. They got brought in whenever we brought in the song file. But what we're going to do is take these master clips, which go along with the master tracks, and we're going to select all of them and move them to the top. This is our master section. So no matter what song we're using, we're going to want our master clips to be up in these top tracks, and we'll actually end up deleting this duplicated section of master tracks. So to select all of our master clips, I like to just click on the guide clip right here. That selects it, and then I can hold down the Shift key on the keyboard. Then I can click on one of these marker clips. You'll see now that all of these are selected. They're highlighted in light blue. That means I can click and drag and move them up together. I'm just going to wait until I see a little hand icon for my cursor. Then I can click and drag all the way to the top. You want to make sure that you don't move it to the left or right. Just drag it straight up. And then let's take a look at our next step. It's going to be to delete the unused master tracks. And like I was saying, now we can delete these duplicated master tracks. There's no longer the clips in them because we've moved them up to our master section, but we can go ahead and delete these. Those were just part of the original song template that we don't need anymore. All right, let's check out our next step. Change the key if necessary. So in Planning Center, we should see what key we want. We're going to want to be in the key of B for this countdown. If we go back to Ableton and look over here, this is the song folder where all the tracks live. And to the far right, it's going to have the key that it's currently in. So it's currently in D flat, and we're going to want to move it to the key of B. I'm going to show you guys something. I'll provide a link to this as well. Right here, I have a keyboard diagram that you can use to figure out how far you need to change the key of a track. To give an example, say we wanted to move something from the key of F to the key of G. The song is originally in F, but we want to move it to the key of G on a piano keyboard. You find the original key here, so the key of F, and then you count however many notes away the desired key is. Starting on F, we go up 1, up 2 to get to the key of G. In the case that we were just talking about, we wanted to go from the original key of D flat down to B. We wouldn't want to go up because that would be really far. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 up. That's going to make your track sound bad. But what you can do instead is you can go down. So we can start on D flat, down 1 to C, and down 2 to B. So to go from D flat to B, we're going to go down 2 or -2. The way we're going to do this in Ableton is we're going to select any of the tracks that have melodic or harmonic content. Basically, select any tracks that aren't a drum or a percussion track. SFX can be different depending on the song. In this case, I know that it doesn't have any notes in it. It's just like a sound effect, like a swell effect. So for this one, I only need to select bass through strings. Bass, guitars, keys, synths, and strings all have notes in them. They all have melodic or harmonic content. So we can just select all of those tracks. And to do that, again, all we have to do is select one of them, hold down the Shift key, and then select the bottom one. And that'll select all of them. You'll see them highlight in light blue. Now you can go down to the bottom left, and you'll see this little window show up. It has warp, complex, and then this little pitch wheel. If you don't see it, you can double click on the track and it'll bring this up. Then you can go back and reselect all the ones you need. They're all selected now. I can scroll down here, and we said we needed to go down 2 or -2. So what you do is you find this little pitch wheel right here. You click on it and you can drag it down until you see it say -2. So now it's good. And super important, you need to click off now so you don't accidentally mess up anything in this little window that was down here. Okay, so now we're good to go with the key. Now just rename this song folder so that at the end, it has the current key. So I know that I have already transposed. Okay, let's see what our next step is. We're going to color code the clips and the song folder. We like to color code our songs so it's easier for the drummer to be able to find where they are looking in Ableton to cue the right thing. Song 1 or countdown, we always color code that as red. And the things that we change the color to are going to be the song folder, which that one is already red, so we don't need to worry about it. But then we also want to color code all of these tracks to be red, including actually the tempo, click, and guide tracks. So we can select all of those tracks. Only one that we're not going to change are the markers. These stay black. So we select all of them. I just clicked on one, held down Shift, and then clicked on the bottom one. Now we can right click on one of them. It'll bring up these colors here, and we just select red. Now, if we collapse, you'll see all of these are red, and then this over here is red, so it matches. The other thing I like to do is I like to put the number of the key command at the beginning, so the drummer can easily look over and see what key command they need to hit to fire the countdown. And we also do this in all caps. So you repeat that for all of the songs. Let me show you one more song, and then we'll fast forward to the end. I'll go a little bit faster this time. The first thing we're going to do is locate the multi-track file. Let's go to our Planning Center plan, and we need to find the Joy. Click on this paperclip icon. It brings up the info. So you'll see here the arrangement that we're using is version 1B. So that's what we're going to want to find in Ableton. We can go over here to our browser and look for the Joy. We want to make sure to use version 1B. So we're going to click and drag this in. Remember to always do it below the lowest track. Step 3, delete the demo track. The demo track is always at the very bottom. That's just the full song. We use it when we create new songs. We don't need it in the set though. So we just click on that and press delete. Now, we're going to do step 4, which is cut and paste the song and paste it to the right. So in Ableton, this is the timeline view. It flows linearly. It starts here, and as time moves on, it flows to the right. We're going to want to put the second song to the right of the first song. We're going to select all the tracks. The easiest way is to click on the very bottom track, scroll to the top, hold down the Shift key, and then click on one of these markers right here. Okay, now if you scroll, you should see all of them highlighted in light blue. Press Command X. That's cut on the keyboard, Command X. And then we can click in the markers track to the right of the first song. So I'm in this markers track right here, and I'm to the right of the first song. Press Command V to paste. So now our entire song is right there to the right of song 1. Step 5 is to create a locator and assign a key command. Click right where the song starts. You should see a little light blue line show up. Then we hit /, makes a locator. Here's our locator. It already has number 2 on it, but we need to add a key command. So we click on the triangle, press Command K. Make sure the triangle is selected and press number 2 on the keyboard. And then Command K to get out of that menu. Step number 6, change time signature if necessary. Let's take a look at the Joy. If you're in this song info here for the Joy, if you click on song, it'll show you some information here. So it's in 4/4, and as we know, Ableton is in 4/4 by default, so we don't need to do that. Step number 7, move master clips up. Let's go ahead and do that. So again, we want to click on the bottom of the master clips guide, hold down Shift and click on one of the markers. Drag them to the top, making sure we don't go left or right. The next step, delete the unused master tracks. So these tracks are now empty. We don't need them anymore. Select all of them, press delete. The next step, change the key if necessary. Go back to Planning Center. So we want to be in the key of B. In Ableton, we see that the Joy is in D flat. Go from our original key, which is D flat, to our desired key, which is B. So D flat, down 1 to C, down 2 to B. So we'll select anything that has harmonic or melodic content. So drums and percussion, neither one of those need to be selected. We start with bass, hold down Shift, and click on choir. All these tracks need to be transposed. Down here, take our pitch wheel, go -2. Click off so we don't mess anything up. We will change the name of this song folder. Command R, I should have mentioned that before. If you select this song folder and press Command R, that's how you rename. So we changed it to the key of B, so we'll go ahead and reflect that here. And also I want to put the key command number right here as well. So we know that the key command number is number 2. So I press number 2 and then hit space and then press enter. And now it's named. Let's see what our next step is. Okay, so we changed the key and now we're going to color code the clips and the song folder. Let's go back to our song color coding guide here. Song 2 should be in this light blue. Let's go back to Ableton and we'll do that. I'll click on the song folder and then I'll right click and I'll select this light blue right here. And then I do the same thing for the clips all the way from tempo track all the way through the bottom track. So I'll select all of those and change the color to light blue. And that's it. We have 2 songs in there. I'm going to go ahead and load the rest of the songs, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to create transitions, tying songs together, adding looping clicks, doing those sorts of things. So I'll be right back. All right. Now I'm going to show you how to create some transitions in your set. First, let's go to Planning Center and let's take a look at the set. We have a countdown, a worship leader welcome, and a note here. It just says over the intro of the first song. So that means it doesn't need to be a standalone thing. That's why it has 0 in this time block here. So what that means is that we're going to want to flow straight from the countdown into the Joy. We want it to feel seamless. And then also the Joy straight into Same God. So we're going to want to tie those 2 songs together as well. So first, let me show you how to do that. If we go back to Ableton, we're going to want to listen to the end of whatever song we're flowing out of into the next song. So in this case, we're going to flow out of the countdown straight into the Joy. I want to listen to the very end of the countdown to get a feel for where I want the count in for the Joy to start. So if you listen to the count in for the Joy, to get an idea of how long that count in will be before the intro starts.
1, 2, intro, 2, 3, 4.
So it's a 2-bar count in right there. That means we'll probably want to start it pretty soon after the countdown ends. Let's listen to that right here.
1, 2, and 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would probably want to start the count in for the joy right after the ending. If you expand the guide track, you can actually see where the true ending happens. So if you click here, it's actually 4 beats before the end really happens.
And 2, 3, 4.
I'd want the joy count in to start right here. So the way I make this happen is I can click here where I have this selected, and I can drag and highlight the amount of time right up until the joy. So now that amount of time is highlighted. I can go up to edit, and I can go to cut time. Okay, now if I listen to it, it's not going to sound quite right yet because there's one more step to do, but you'll kind of hear the timing.
1, 2, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, intro, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. The only thing that doesn't sound quite right now is that the countdown ends very abruptly. So the way to fix that is we're going to expand this folder here for our countdown. See all of our clips right here. These are all the audio files. So what we can do is we can select all of them. We can hover to the very far right of these clips. We can click and drag these audio files back out so they have a natural fade, a natural decay to them. So now listen.
And 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, intro, 2, 3, 4.
Perfect. So that sounds great. Now we need to do the same exact thing between the joy and same God. So let's listen really quickly to the end of the joy.
And 2, 3, 4. Swell.
There's a big trash can at the end of the joy, so we probably don't want to start it right away. We still don't want to wait all the way until the end of these tracks to start it because that would feel really long. But we also don't want to start it right away either. Let's listen to the count in for Same God.
1, 2, intro, 2, 3, 4.
So it's a pretty long count in, probably a decent 4 or 5 seconds. So let's listen one more time. I'm going to stop the audio when I think it's a pretty decent time to start that track.
And 2, 3, 4.
Let the trash can ring. And maybe like right there, because the count in is so long. Let's give it a shot and see how it sounds. So we can click here and drag all the way to the beginning of Same God. Then we can go up to edit, cut time. Let's go ahead and drag out our audio files just so we get a good feel for the transition. All right, now let's play it from the end of the joy and see how that sounds.
And 2, 3, 4. Swell. 1, 2, intro, 2, 3, 4.
Cool. I think that sounds pretty good. I hear one thing I want to change about it. I think the audio tracks bleed over into the intro a little bit too long. I'll show you how to fix that now. So it's kind of the same concept as stretching them out. You want to select all of them. Then you can shorten it here. There's one more step to make it sound natural. If we don't add a fade, those tracks will now cut off abruptly. So what we can do is I can select the amount of time I create a fade. So probably right when the Same God count in starts is where I want these tracks to start fading out. I can select that amount of time on those tracks. Then I can press Command Option F. Now you see it's created a little bit of a fade here. Let's listen to it now.
And 2, 3, 4. Swell. 1, 2, intro, 2, 3, 4.
Cool. I think that will work. And the only thing left is we had to figure out what to do after Same God and after Oh Praise the Name. So let's take a look at Planning Center. Same God is the last song of the set. After that, it'll go into a campus pastor moment. Typically, we'll go into like a welcome click right there. For today's purposes, I'm just going to show you how to build a looping click at the same tempo for Same God. And then same thing for Oh Praise the Name. After Oh Praise the Name, the campus pastor will come up. The band will play underneath. We just need a looping click at the end of that one as well. I'm going to show you how to do that. We'll go back to Ableton. Let's go to the end of Same God. We're going to drag the tempo track and the click track out a little bit farther. We can select both of those clips and we hover until we see this little bracket cursor, and we can just drag it out one measure. One measure is the distance between two numbers right here. So bar 302 to bar 303, that's one measure. That's all you need to do. All you need to make sure is that the audio files stop before your looping click begins. This measure is going to be our looping click. The next step to creating a looping click is to create a locator for it. So we click at the beginning of the measure where we want our looping click to start, right there. And then we can create a locator by using the / key. There's our locator, it's number 5. We'll give that a key command for number 5 as well. So Command K, keyboard Q number 5, and then Command K to get out of there. I also like to rename the song again right here for Same God to signify that there's a looping click after it. We put the looping click number after a / right after the song cue. The drummer would cue Same God the beginning of the song with number 3. But if they wanted to get to that looping click at the end of the song, they could hit number 5. Right now, you'll notice it doesn't loop. So watch right here. If I trigger this click, it keeps playing and doesn't loop. So we're not done yet. This is where we need to go back to session view. So if you remember, you can either click on these vertical lines or you can hit the tab key on the keyboard. You'll see right here, there's some pre-built loop MIDI cues right here. So you can go ahead and just select loop number 1, press Command C to copy it, press tab to go back to arrangement view. And then on our repeat track right here, right where we put our locator, we click, press Command V to paste. Now we need to assign this MIDI clip to trigger this locator right here. So to do that, we press Command M. That'll bring up this menu. And we click on this triangle and press spacebar to play. We'll see right there, it added that cue right there. So now, if we trigger our loop and click, you'll see it loop. Okay. So there we go. And then we'll go ahead and just color code this to match the song. We'll make it pink. And then we'll do one more for the end of Oh Praise the Name. So again, we'll just go to the end here. We will select our tempo track and our click track. We'll drag them out a measure. We'll create a locator. It's number 6. Create a key command for it. Rename Oh Praise the Name song to reflect the looping click key command number. Then we press tab to go to session view. We copy loop 2. If we copied loop 1, we would have an issue because that would give us the same MIDI cue for 2 different looping clicks, and Ableton won't like that. So we want to copy loop 2, press tab to go back, paste it on our repeat track right where our locator is that we just created. Then we MIDI map that by pressing Command M, selecting the triangle at the locator, pressing spacebar, and it caught it over here. Okay, now press Command M to get out of that menu. Now we can cue this loop and click. And there we go. Last thing, and this is maybe the most important thing of all, is we want to go up to File, hit Collect All and Save. If you do not hit Collect All and Save, the next time you open this project, especially if it's on another computer, the audio files won't be there and your Ableton set won't work. So it's super important. File, Collect All and Save. That grabs all the audio files in this project and puts them into the same folder. That way they're found no matter what computer you are running this Ableton set off of. The last thing I like to do is just double check that everything works correctly in my set. I go through all my key commands here, make sure Ableton moves to the correct spot. Looks like we're good there. And then I like to play through the songs, just a few seconds of them to make sure my keys are correct. I'll open a piano keyboard app or a pitch pipe app and play the pitch along with it. Make sure it's in the right key. Just double check your set, make sure it's good to go. I hope that's really helpful. I know that's a lot, but hopefully between this video, watching it as you build a set, and then going through with the guide I gave you access to, hopefully that will help you learn how to build an Ableton set relatively quickly. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help you out.